Right. So, do you want to explain your name and your position?
I'm Debbie, I'm the lead football physio at Cardiff Met.
How long have you been at Cardiff Met for?
I've been at Cardiff Met for just over 2 years, and with football since September, October time.
How you finding it so far?
Yeah, good, different, busy,
Yeah.
but yeah, really enjoying it. They're a really good group to work with.
Who have you worked for in the past? Have you worked for any other football clubs or any other sport teams?
So never in football. I think I covered one football match for Cardiff Met, covering for a friend who used to look after the team quite a few years back. But yeah, most of my experience was in the NHS. I qualified back in 2013 and spent just under 10 years working in the NHS in lots of different areas, and quite a lot of time actually in paediatrics. So the last 5 years I'd specialised in children's, but I'd always done sport work along the side, mostly hockey, bits of rugby in there too, and then I went to the Birmingham Commonwealth Games in the polyclinic there, so lots of different sports and training venues through that. Yeah.
So you've been around the place.
Been around, yeah.
What is it like to be a part of a team like Cardiff Met?
Yeah, it's really great. They've been really welcoming. They're a really great bunch of staff and players to work with. So that's really good. Every day is different. Most of my time is spent with the men's teams, but I also have involvement across the women's team and with our Tier A academy as well. So yeah, I mean, this week I've seen women's players. Yesterday we had a Bucks first team game, and then an under-16s game, and then tomorrow we're down to Haverfordwest with the Welsh Prem. So lots of things.
Yeah,
to keep
you do
busy.
a lot of things to keep you busy. So, as you mentioned, you had the Bucks game yesterday, and then we've got a game against Haverfordwest on Friday. How do you balance working for everyone and all the fit, like you was explaining before the interview, fitting all these slots in and stuff? How do you find the balance between it all?
Yeah, I think it's tricky. But I think it's opportunities as much as it's challenges, and I think that's the same for how we operate as staff, work-wise, and with how we operate the players. Managing them across so many different programs can be really tricky, but it also really helps us to provide lots of match play opportunities for as many players as possible to help them all develop. I think the biggest challenge to overcome has been balancing across the two programmes, managing load in players. We know that's a big factor in certain injuries, and getting our players back from injury. Obviously we always want to get players back as soon as possible, but when we're managing a schedule that's as busy as a student player who also plays in the Welsh Prem, when we're at that late rehab stage, it's really hard to work out where we're fitting what they need to be doing into their week, and also prehab when we're looking to be more proactive as physios in trying to prevent injuries. When we've got matches on a Wednesday and a Friday or a Saturday, every contact day that we have with our players is either a match day -1 or match day +1. So in terms of the things that myself and S&C want to be doing with players to have them perform and to rehab injuries, it's like a big game of Tetris to try and work out how we fit that into their weeks.
So Deb, how long are you normally in here doing the massages with players?
So it's about 4:30 now, so generally I'll be reviewing injuries or doing maintenance treatments through to about 6:30, when tonight the players are in for a team meeting, so we've got game day tomorrow, and then they'll be back out sometime after 7 for a lift session down in the gym, and then they're heading out to the pitch tonight about 8:45, I think.
Right, what do you think of Deb?
What I think is Deb?
Yeah.
I'll have to answer that question once her thumb's out on my shoulder trap.
What does a match day look like for a physio?
I think, match day for physio starts before the match day. As we've talked about already, a lot of our plans and preparation for a match day starts days or even weeks beforehand. in what the coaches are wanting to look at from the style of play, the team that they want out there, what players we might be bringing back from injury and potentially looking to manage their return with those games. So a lot of that stuff is already happening even before match day starts, preparing all our kit. Again, Met Football is part of a larger institution here at the university, and so a lot of our matchday kit is shared between all our other performance sports. So again, it can be complicated in planning who's travelling where and who needs what kit in what place at what time. So a lot of that stuff has to happen before we even get to game day. And then, on a match day, I usually arrive a couple of hours before the game, sort of an hour or so before the players start arriving, to get everything set up in the changing room ready so that we can be really efficient and quick. And then the players will start coming in maybe about an hour and a half beforehand to do any pre-match treatments, strapping, things like that. Have them all ready then for the team talk. And then obviously, in-game, we hope to not be very busy. But there can be match days where I spend the whole match on the bench, and then there can be match days where you feel like you're just trotting on and off the pitch every 5 minutes. So it all depends on the day, I guess.
Again, you've got a much longer day than everyone else start to finish. That's what it is really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the norm in sport, because we get to the end of the game, and then if people have got injured, then we're then reassessing those injuries post-match, potentially getting them on to hospital if that's required. So again, that can be time consuming. All the kit we've used then has to be sorted and returned. And then things like the GPS units, again, at the moment that's something that falls between myself and our strength and conditioning coaches. So then getting in all of that data, and then our player monitoring, so that then we can go into matchday +1 knowing how our players are. And updating the staff then to plan the next training session.